In today's video, we will look at the potential energy diagrams and try to understand the details behind it. For conservative systems, we know the work done on the system or by the system equals negative the change in potential energy of the system. It comes from the fact that if the mechanical energy of the system is conserved, combining this expression with the fact that work done equals the change in kinetic energy, it follows that for a system subjected to conservative forces, the work done equals the change in potential energy. Since the work is defined as force times a displacement, equating that to minus delta U, you see that delta U over delta X minus is the force. Or in the limit where delta X tends to 0, we write the conservative force equals minus du dx. In this video, we are predominantly interested in energy diagram or energy graph, namely the potential energy graph, U versus X. Let's assume as an example you have a following potential energy graph. Let's concentrate on the minimum points right there. What happens at these points is that the slope of UX graph is 0. So what do we say? We say du dx equals to 0. Now we are talking about exactly at these 2 points. Now let's consider a point which is slightly to the right of that minimum point, as the one shown in yellow. Of course, at that point, you can clearly see the slope du dx is positive. What that means is, from this equation, the force is negative, namely it's heading in that direction, or in the direction that is heading towards the origin. If this potential energy graph indicates or represents the motion, say, of a glider along the x-axis, then what happens exactly here is that when you slightly displace the glider to the right-hand side of that minimum point, such a force which acts along the negative x direction will try to restore its original position. The same thing happens when the glider is, let's say, moved slightly to the left of the minimum position. At that point, you can see the slope is negative, and that would make the force acting on it positive. So in this position, the force acts in this direction, again try to restore the state of that glider back towards that point. Such a force is called the restoring force, because as we can see, when the glider is displaced to either side of that minimum point, the resulting force tends to restore it back to that minimum point. So we say such points are known as the stable equilibrium points. Or more generally, any minimum in a potential energy curve is a stable equilibrium position, such as that and that. Now let's look at the maximum points at the peak. Of course, at those 2 points, the slope is indeed 0. That means we say the force is 0 as well. Let's see what happens when the glider is slightly to the left of such a maximum point. Over there, you see the slope is positive. So that means the force is negative, meaning when the glider is slightly perturbed so that its position moves slightly to the left, the force on it now will be leftward. And this tends to push the particle further from that point. Same thing happens when the glider is to the right of the maximum point. Over there, we know in this case, the slope is negative, so that means the force is positive according to this result. So the force on this particle will tend to go rightward, again pushing it further away from this equilibrium point. And for those reasons, these 2 points are known as the unstable equilibrium points. So generally, any maximum in a potential energy curve is an unstable equilibrium position, such as these 2 points here. Let's assume you're given a hypothetical potential energy function shown on top. How would the force function look like for this potential energy function? As you can see, at points x1, x2, x3, and x4, the slope of the potential energy function is 0. So when the slope is 0, the value of the force itself is 0 as well at those points. So those are the points that first you should plot. Next, let's look at this region. As you can see, the slope is negative, so the force is positive there. So you can plot something like that. Over this region, the slope is indeed positive, so that would make the force negative, because note the negative sign in front of that equation. So the form of the force will be something like that. You again have a negative slope, so the force there is positive until you get to this where the force is again 0. So again, positive slope or negative force, negative slope, and positive force. So that is how you figure out roughly the connections between the potential energy function and the force function, given the force is conservative. A very specific example is that of a harmonic oscillator, where the potential energy function is given in a form of a parabola. So this is u and that is x. The extreme point on either side signifies the amplitude of the oscillation, A. That is the origin. What that means is a horizontal line like that indicates the total energy of the system. Because we know, since total energy equals potential energy plus the kinetic energy, at extreme points shown there, kinetic energy is 0, so the total energy equals the potential energy. What about kinetic energy? How do you label kinetic energy? Let's look at a particular point on that potential energy function. So that corresponds to an x-coordinate of x, let's say. Since we know that E equals U plus K, K is quite simply E minus U. So this vertical distance between the U and E graph represents the kinetic energy of the particle when the particle is at that point. As you can see, when the particle or the oscillator gets to the amplitude, this distance shrinks to 0, indicating no kinetic energy. And when the particle is here, the difference is maximum, indicating the kinetic energy is maximum at the origin and the potential energy is 0 there. So from such a simple exercise, you can see how enormously helpful a potential energy function is. Let's look at the following problem. A conservative force acts on a 2 kg particle. The potential energy function associated with a force F is shown below. When the particle is at x equals to 3 meters, its velocity is minus 2 meters per second. Find the magnitude and direction of that conservative force at that position. So as you can see, to determine the force, all you have to do is to compute the slope of that potential energy function at the point that you're interested in. X equals to 3 is right there, so the slope corresponds to that point is that. In order to calculate the slope, you need to know this vertical distance and that horizontal distance. So this vertical distance is minus 18 minus 3. The horizontal distance is that, 2 to 4, meaning 4 minus 2, which is 2. which will give you minus 15 over 2, which is minus 7.5 newtons. This is just the slope, this part. Do not forget the negative sign, so this negative will kill that negative, giving you a value for force of 7.5 newtons in a positive x direction. So the answer for part A is 7.5 newtons I hat. Now part B, between what positions on the left and right does the particle move? What we are interested in is the limit for the motion. We know the total energy is U plus K. At those limits, the kinetic energy goes to 0. So we need to figure out the points for which the potential energy equals the total energy. But for that we need to know what the total energy is. We can use the fact that when the particle is at x equals to 3, the speed is 2 meters per second. So at that point, we can calculate the total energy. The total energy is the kinetic energy, which is half times the mass, which is 2 kg, times the square of the speed, plus the potential energy at that point at x equals to 3, right there, shows the potential energy is minus 10 joules. So there we have it. The energy is, that will become 1, 4 minus 10 is minus 6 joules. So we need to figure out the points where the potential energy is minus 6 joules. Minus 6 is right there. So the first point is right there, this point, and the second point is right there. So let's figure out the left-hand side point. This is 3, that is 2. So it is somewhere around 2.5. So that represents the positions on the left. The position on the right is right here, 13. So we can write the answer is 2.5 and 13. Now finally part C. Find the particle's speed at x equals to 6. So since the total energy is U plus K, we know the total energy was minus 6 joules. Now let's see what the potential energy is at x equals to 6. X equals to 6 is somewhere, say there, all the way here. It gives you the potential energy of minus 18. So minus 18 plus kinetic energy, which is half times the mass, it is 2 kg particle, times the speed squared, the speed that you want to determine. Half times 2 is 1. Bring the 18 to that side, you get 12. So v squared is 12, which will give you a speed of 3.46 meters per second for the answer. And that solves the problem. Thank you for watching.